Hi, how's it going? Welcome to this episode of Crafting Recipes. My name is Rainboom. I'll be your host for this podcast, and I'm really excited to be able to share this podcast with you. Of course, starting anything is always going to have its share of nervous energy, but also just a great deal of excitement. So I really hope that the latter does come through with this episode, as well as pretty much any other release for crafting recipes in the future. Now, this podcast is all about Minecraft content creators, where you and I will get to have chats with said content creators about what they do, what they love about what they do, and just general content creation concepts at times, in case there's anything you wanted to know about your favorite content creators, or maybe get to know some new names you've never heard before. And so for this episode, I figured I'd kick things off with a fantastic community called The Bakery, and they are just a group full of fantastic content creators and other community members as well. It's a very big community, and it's growing as we speak. And the reason being is because, for me, The Bakery is really the whole reason why this podcast started. Had I not been a part of The Bakery or gotten to know some of the many fantastic content creators who I am really honored to call my friends, this podcast would have never existed. So I am eternally grateful to The Bakery for the existence and creation of this podcast. And so I hope you enjoy this episode. And also, just as a side note, while I will have guests, of course, lined up for future episodes, if you perhaps have any input you'd like to share with me, say if there was something that was on your mind that you wanted me to talk about with a guest, maybe if you have any names you want to pass along to me that you may know of it that would make great guests, great content creator guests, or if you yourself might be an aspiring content creator who would want to come on for a chat, then don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm going to leave a link in the description, whether you're on podcast or video version of the show, and in there will be a link to a portal full of other links in which you can contact me by whichever means is most convenient to you. And so, without further ado, on we go. Here is the first episode of the Crafting Recipes podcast.
And now, the Crafting Recipes Podcast, presented by Rainboom.
And what better way to kick off this podcast than with two good friends of mine, two great content creators, and two key people who have founded what I'm going to be introducing to you very soon as The Bakery, in case you haven't heard it before. Let me just start things off really quickly here. Who of you two would you say is the superior content creator?
Content creators? I'm probably Painter.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That was a rhetorical question. I mean, we can all argue that Snarple definitely is for very good reasons. But anyway, no, I was mentioning that to introduce the voices to you. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to let you listening get an idea of who we're going to be talking to today, and that is paintergigi and Snarple. Hey guys.
Hey.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Glad to be here.
Thank you.
And enjoying this sort of makeshift studio space we have. We were, for you listening, we were just kind of building this out moments before we started, because we were like, oh, we don't have a place to sit. We're just going to be sitting in the middle of grass and all that. So we had studio lights in. I should have the podcast mobile eventually. Like the bus is going to show up like right outside the bakery or something too, and and
bring all the audio equipment in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but hey, this is such a low budget podcast that I have to do all the work myself. So
we got to get some sponsors on this podcast. I'm looking for maybe the bakery could sponsor
bakery sponsorship. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Get some better equipment, get some all that kind of fun stuff. But anyways, no, it's great having you both on, and of course, Snarple, the gradient god, as we know from Shovel, especially, and Painter, who specializes in all things modern and more. I would say more because you've definitely got a lot of great different house styles and other things, right? That you do alongside. So yeah, just great to have you both on to talk about The Bakery, as we were sort of just hinting at also. But let me start things off with just maybe for yourselves, give yourselves a little bit of time to get into the spotlight. But what do you love most, first off, about your content creation stuff for yourselves?
I mean, I personally make way more content than Snarple, as we stated earlier.
Yeah,
I just want to be clear that because of that makes me more superior in lots of ways. But I like working with people. I mean, Snarple's the first person I reached out to do a collab. I know I wasn't the first person Snarple reached out to, which is upsetting because
that's crazy.
Superiority and stuff like that. But I just love the fact that like people get to come together, we talk, we hang out, we build relationships and friends and stuff. So it makes a lot of good memories, and we like rely on each other for that. I think in a lot of ways, and that's like what like makes it all fun, worth it in the end. Is really just having someone to do this game with. I feel like Minecraft is exponentially better with friends.
Thank goodness for multiplayer mode, eh? Imagine if their server exactly. Imagine if Minecraft was just like all single player. How different the content creation world would probably be. Like it would be pretty.
I don't
crazy.
think I could have played the game for so long if it was just single player.
Yeah.
Yeah, or mods or any of these little updates they roll out.
Absolutely. How about you, Snarple?
I really like. I've loved like improving myself as an artist because content creation is just such a big motivator to kind of keep growing and keep doing like new things with stuff, and it's helped me learn a lot of like new programs as well without like not just building in Minecraft, but like learning how to edit photos and make videos and stuff like that. And as Painter said, the social aspect is really, really nice to have there. And Painter wasn't the first person that I collaborated with, but probably the most important one.
You think your content's improved since you've started?
No, actually, I think it's like sharp declined, but
I remember when Snarple was coming up, I mean, it was like all the rage with these roofs and these like, gray style backgrounds, and it was like so interesting. And now
I fell off. For sure.
Everybody does these colored roofs, and I don't remember the last time I even saw a Snarple post other than those face in the mountain kind of builds.
Yeah.
That being said, though, the fact that you have fewer...
I'm just joking, Snarple, by the way.
No, I know.
I want to preface the fact that these are sarcastic jokes.
I was taking it pretty seriously until you said that.
Well,
You're writing them down?
As a question of superiority, it goes back to your superiority. Like the best
you have to belittle the people around you, yeah.
You have to play your sarcasm well. You have to play all your... Oh yeah, you have to pick your words very, very wisely. No, I was going to say that kind of to that effect that, with Snarple having the much smaller Instagram page, it's actually easier to look back. Ooh. I'm just kidding. No, not in that sense. No.
He's saying my builds are more memorable.
This could actually go either way. I'll be like, yeah, Painter's page is like, you'd have to scroll through for like 10 minutes to try to find something.
You said that I was a modern builder, which I think is really interesting because I don't have... Like modern builds are not the most that I've made. Fantasy style and these like more like medieval style are definitely still outnumbering, cabin builds, these more contemporary home builds.
You've definitely made more gradient roof medieval houses than I have.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that was
thanks to you.
I was going to say that might be after meeting Snarple and that sort of thing. But no, I was going to say that like being able to scroll through, like you can actually see Snarple, like you can probably very easily see how you've developed, right, in terms of your content creation, what you've done, and then now, of course, the collabs with people like Painter and all that. So at least you can really see it. I mean, not that Painter you can't see it because you have that much more, but I mean, I guess I got to know you only once you started mostly doing all the modern stuff, like the collabs with Waspy and that. But I still feel like I have yet to know a lot more about your work with all the medieval and the fantasy. Because I know you do that stuff, right? But just probably have yet to really take the time to scroll through your page. Now, nothing against your page, of course, but
Sounds like we should just do this podcast episode looking at my page and criticizing it.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, this will be, we'll just shift the focus and just say, all right, let's critique everything Painter all the way from day one.
This one looks like it took you 2 hours to do. Yeah. Definitely looks like a really mid build.
No, if I draw your attention though too, actually I'll use Snarple's page because I could spot some of the early pages or all early collabs between you both, because I know that it started somewhere, and I actually was trying to see if I could find the very first collab that you both did. I think I did, and it looks like something that has gradients, of course, and some autumn trees. Do you remember? Let me just to make sure I have the right post that I have in front of me, and I'll share with you listening as well. But describe that first collab. Do you remember it much?
Yeah, I remember how awkward it was to reach out to Snarple.
It was horrible.
I remember the fact that when we were talking about where to build, we found a server, and I had to like prove that I was who I said I was as like a creator on Instagram to the staff, which was weird. So Snarple helped me out technically on another build post that did really well, which was kind of funny. I think it was called wait, hold on. It was called
Here, I'm gonna share it with you both and see if you can see it. I'm gonna put it in front of you here. If that's the one there, I've just put a
Yeah. So that was our first technical collab on a post. But the trading hall on my Instagram was the first one that Snarple actually did help me with. There's no credit in there, but I remember that was like the first time I had interacted with somebody who wanted to build trees and stuff. I was like one of these people that would run over and put down a tree, like a sapling, and then I would bone meal it until it would grow. And Snarple looked at me and we were VCing and just shook their head, and I was like, "What?"
I remember I just destroyed the tree by hand just while looking at you every now and then, just to make sure that you were watching me destroy this tree.
I was so embarrassed, because like you never know, you're like what these people are gonna judge you for, and like I wanted to really impress Snarple so that we could work together again, because the builds that I saw were I felt like levels creative than what I was doing, which was just mostly like these like medieval-y things. Like I had gotten posts that had gone viral from like they were like, I don't know, really small tier builds, like maybe like a mine shaft.
I remember the mine shaft one. Yeah, I remember seeing that one.
That one went crazy. That one got like 18K back in the day.
Oh wow,
that was what I was known for, mine shaft.
See, so it was definitely more than just modern medieval fantasy stuff. That's true. Gee, now I feel like I've undersold you, Painter, as a result.
That's okay. You can undersell me. I don't need to be sold.
Oh man, but yeah. So that was one of the first ones there. I guess that's the first I saw that visually struck me as like a meeting of both worlds, right? That one. And you've had a few, maybe more than just a few, like a bunch more since. Any other ones that stand out?
For our collabs, you mean?
Yeah, or just any sort of any things that you've done together.
Oh gosh, the one with the woodpeckers was really nice. That was always my favorite of the ones that we did from the really early days.
That's the original Snarple Painter collabs. I think are some of the I remember them so specifically because the woodpecker collab, that one was really good because it was just really creative, I felt like, and kind of freeing as far as like what I was allowing myself to do in Minecraft. And I felt like I was kind of leveling up my creative thought process there. Yeah, the bird perch one, right? And also that was our first I think collab post.
I think so too, yeah.
But the funniest one I think that we built together was the Snow City, which is a really good build.
It did not start out good.
I sent Snarple an art, and Snarple was like, "Oh, this is cool." It was like this red kind of church-looking build in like a really gray background, and we spent like hours building this entire thing. And there were some mishaps with like how I was handling myself in those times, and it was really late for Snarple, and we made this really hideously ugly build, and Snarple hated it so much that it just was deleted by the time I came back to it. And
that's not true. That is not true.
Or I guess we retextured it or something like that, but it was a struggle to get that one done, and I remember how hard it was to do.
I think it took like 3 building sessions in total. I think there were 3 separate days that we worked on it. The first day we made this whole build. It was the end build is like just black and white, and it has like just a little bit of color, but the first version of it that we did was like it was red and yellow, and it did not look at all like what it looks like right now. And the second day we came back and just retextured like so much of it. It's a completely different build, but it was I don't know. It took a really, really long time, but it was really funny the second day when we came back and we both just decided that it was not like we needed to change something.
I remember as Snarple, I felt worried that we weren't ever going to work together again because of how upset you got at that build.
Dude, I don't know. I was frustrated because we'd been working on it for so long, and it just wasn't something that I was quite happy with. But
yeah. But I mean, then we went on to do other things like my best post, which is the Future Oasis, where we collabed with Waspy and Claire on that one, and that thing was just iconic for my accounts.
I think I might remember that one. Yeah.
That one is legitimately done like, I don't know, probably 50 million in views.
Oh wow.
Across platforms. So, and I've reused it as far as content. Snarple, when we originally did that and I pitched it to everybody, it was a joke because it's like a giant circle modern with a hole in it and a waterfall coming through. But Snarple's like terraining, texturing, and also positioning of the sphere and getting that all kind of set up for the core bones of it, like just made like our process has evolved so much where when we work together, there isn't a lot of dialogue that needs to happen between us versus in the beginning where I felt like I needed to like ask Snarple a bunch of questions like, is this okay? Is this okay? Now I just know that Snarple doesn't care or will just give me an opinion and I can just say yay or nay to it.
Yeah.
I could fight it. I have my confidence around Snarple.
And from that must have spawned all the unique or distinct things we all talk about in RVCs with this very specific things that are featured in any collab, right? Like the circle, the water features, all that kind of stuff. Although that kind of lends itself to certain people, I think, in those collabs, but still having those in there, it's sort of like, oh yeah, now we kind of know, oh yeah, we'll incorporate this in here. And it's like those key words that just make that build that much more exciting to, or more interesting to get to work on, right? So... Yeah. No, and it's really cool to get to see that. So would you say that Future Oasis Painter was like a sort of a turning point in a sense on your page, or was there maybe a post or something earlier that you remember that kind of really let you like accelerate, or it kind of was like this is like a defining moment in my content creation journey, and all my builds moving forward are going to be of some like higher quality, or however you want to put it?
It was definitely... I mean, not with Snarple. Snarple wasn't involved in it, but the Future Oasis was not like a turning point. That was kind of like a hierarchy point from last year, when I think like the peak of the summer was happening, and the posting was doing really well as far as Minecraft content. But like, I think my turning point was probably when I started working more closely with like Waspy Craft, and then I started turning to like reels and short form content that was more videos and that sort of stuff. That was when it really started to take off, and I started to see more growth from all the platforms. But, when Snarple and I mean, it's hard to get Snarple on a collab these days because all I want to do is these like kind of more simplistic builds. I think I like turned down the actual quality in a lot of like creative terms and like turned up the quantity. So it's hard to get Snarple into a post because it's normally a joke.
I see Snarple waving their arms and going, "Oh, come on, Painter!"
The last build that we did together, Snarple posted. I made Snarple a video and everything. Snarple deleted it.
Oh god, it performed so poorly on my page. It's, whenever I work with Painter or Waspy, when I post it to my page, it never does as well, like performance wise, as it does on their pages. Because I'm pretty sure my audience is just a lot different.
Well, like when we're saying performance wise, like when the last time Waspy, Snarple, and I collabed, we made like a mountain with a hole in it and then put a modern kind of like city inside of that hole, and like it did like, I don't know, 20 million views for Waspy and I split. And so I don't know if Snarple got anything out.
I think I got like 3,000 likes on one of the posts, and maybe the reel did another like 3,000, but that was it.
Like one of the more mega viral videos we've had recently.
Oh man, see, if only you could do like collab with more than one person, I think that would also really help bring exposure up, right? And that could be something. Because for me, for instance, like I would have never thought, like you both have probably seen the porta potty that Claire and I did, right? And you would never think that sort of thing would have so much reach somehow. It just does. And because it was a collab, then both of us, of course, shared in that in the insights. But it was kind of interesting in that way. I guess Instagram works in interesting ways sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean the porta potty was just funny. And I think like the actual like reach around getting a porta potty video to do well, or post to do well.
It's
really unpredictable.
It was such an accidental build too, because Claire and I were going, well, Rainboom, you got to fill your plot somehow on the bakery, and so I said, all right, well, let's see what we're gonna do. And all for some odd reason, we were joking about, oh yeah, maybe I should do a massive toilet or something, because if you guys know me, that I love building bathrooms and stuff that I build. If you're listening now, you're probably gonna know that about me, but toilets are always something apparently synonymous with my name. So then when we started working on it, I said, maybe we should just upgrade this to a porta potty, right? And just kind of call it that.
Rainboom is known as the bathroom guy.
That's how I know him.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I mean-
See, exactly, right. That's what proves it. I remember the first time I think I collabed with both of you, or at least Painter for sure. It was one of the houses where you wanted me to put a bathroom into it, I think, if I remember correctly. One of the earliest ones. Or somebody's. I forgot which house it was, and I'd have to scroll through because I have terrible memory, but I know there was somewhere where I built a bathroom, and that was one of the first times I hopped on a collab. So very interesting occurrence. Before I started, getting a little more comfortable with much larger shapes and arches, other more complex things. I mean, we've had some fun collabs for sure. So, but it's interesting. I mean, having that the opportunity just to collab with you both is really just an honor for me to be able to do. And without this bakery space, I think it probably would not have even been possible, because I would have never, if not for actually Claire having introduced me to you, Painter, and then you inviting me and welcoming me into the community, honestly, I think I would have been in a very different position now. Maybe, heck, this podcast would never have even existed to begin with. So I owe it to you both, really, for that. But yeah, I mean, hey, let's talk bakery quickly. I know that's something that we were alongside this discussing and trying to figure out how it all even began. But I'll let you tell the story and sort of how that became up. I don't know if it was a mix of the fact that you both were collabing more and sort of said maybe this would be an opportunity to grow in a community of content creators, or how do you want to tell us this story?
I mean, I think we decided early on when we were in our private little Discords that we wanted to create a space for people who wanted to interact with us, to have the opportunity to interact with our friends as well. And since we were realizing pretty quickly if we were trying to reach people, we could if we wanted to reach people, a better offer would be to have multiple creators versus just one that you could talk to or get feedback on your work. Because let's say you're a medieval house builder, right, and you're trying to get into other forms of art. A great way to get exposure to that is to see other people's work, or even ask for other people's feedback. And in a lot of Discords, you see, especially creator focused ones, there is just one creator that you're looking for feedback from, and they only really can do specific kinds of work. As you said, earlier, you referenced that I mostly do moderns in these more contemporary homes now, and maybe that's something that you're interested in at one point in your time, and then you might switch over and you might look at Snarple's work and be like, oh wow, that's so unique on how you debugged that item or whatever, or built that structure to look a certain way. I want to make more work like that, and
or I want to build more gradients, or something.
I didn't want to say gradients. I always try to just that was so long ago for Snarple that I.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
But no, I mean the goal was to I think kind of become a place to catch all as far as the creator groups that we were working in our circles, and also it was a Patreon decision initially. So we were trying to make it seem more valuable, and we felt like we were more valuable as a group versus just individuals.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Which I still think is really true.
Yeah, 100%. I'm kind of been MIA for some of the collabs, I think, so kind of my fault on that, but definitely still, being still tied to the community is always great. Coming into VCs and spending nights, really, because we all have our own day things, right? Whether it's work or studies or anything like that. But coming to some common place at the end of the day is always a fun time. And of course, whether it comes to, even if we're not building, we're probably going to be on marathons, critiquing house designs and that sort of thing. I know there are always good things like that, or just gawking at the prices of things these days is always an interesting sort of time too.
Yeah, I don't know, Snarple, what do you think? When we were having those original conversations, I mean, it's changed so much since we were talking about it. I mean, we didn't even want to have actual live server or anything like that. So
Yeah, originally we really just wanted a space for a lot of us smaller creators to just kind of like hang out as creators, like, and not in like a public space with a bunch of other people that were coming in just because we were there. Because that always feels a little weird, like when you have people there that are like looking up to you. It's because, you know, we all started and a lot of us really never like expected that sort of thing. So we wanted somewhere just to talk to other small creators about being small creators, and like we really just wanted like a place where we could all just kind of be friends as like creators while we all figured it out, and it kind of it blossomed into all of this, and I mean, I'm really thankful for all of that.
Yeah, I mean, we've taken it further now, and it's way more professional now, I would say,
For
as
sure.
far as how we talk about the creators and talk about like the bakery and like what it means to the community. Recently we've within like a year have grown it to over 10K people, which is insane to think about, and we have like a really fun server and a really like welcoming community. So I mean, it's beyond what we could have expected and hoped for, I think, as far as expectations, and even just planning in general, I think, is something that we could have never planned for.
Yeah, I'm really happy that like you wanted me around at the very start so that I could actually like help set it all up, because it's been really cool like watching how the bakery has grown.
I feel like as like we've gotten to us over the year as it's progressed, there's been kind of these little stages, and it feels like it's so much faster than it normally is, because that's just how it is when you're working really aggressively with our like content schedules, trying to upload every day, trying to think of new designs, looking at houses, talking to people all the time. So it's kind of fun to step back and just kind of look at how far we've come, and I there are definitely mistakes along the way, but the good thing is Snarple and I are still sitting here, and I think that's a testament to the bakery and kind of our friendship group and the values that we all uphold amongst each other and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and not secretly feuding over who will take over the bakery ownership, like solely, single-handedly.
No,
I mean, maybe behind our backs, surely, but a little bit of that feeling of sort. But no, honestly, it's for me, it's been honestly amazing, because I myself, though I have yet to really involve myself more on the public side, like I've always been seeing the member counts just going up, and the association, the interactions that happen on that public side. It seems like such a vibrant community. So I really commend you both for what you've been able to grow, and I'm glad to be part of that community of bakers and people that are there to be able to share content of some kind. So very much looking forward to where it is. Even where we're sitting now, this bakery sort of little cafe where we are is actually part of a much larger collaboration, and I think this is kind of one of the biggest things that was brought together by with the bakery, right? Snarple was, I know this was sort of your initial project, and so it was something that we had a bunch of almost every single, if not all, the bakers in. How was it like getting this all started? I know we have a lot of stories we could tell about this for sure.
Yeah, tell us, Snarple, how was it?
Overall, this whole project was so like stressful. It originally started as I realized that as like the bakery, we hadn't made like a Minecraft build together, like all of us, and a lot of people, I think from the outside, kind of saw us as this like building like team, but we're more of like a group of builders rather than like a building team. But I thought it'd be really cool to start something where we could all work on the same project and present in content as, the bakery made this. Like, this is what the bakery can do, and not just like this is what Painter, Waspy, and Snarple made, or like this is what Rainboom and Claire made from the bakery. It was like, this is what the bakery made, and I wanted to be the first person to kind of lead something like that, and that's kind of how the whole project started. And there was a lot of inspiration from it too. One of like the main sources of inspiration was there is this illegal architecture event from I think it was called the Minecraft Builders Japan community or something like that, and they made this like super big structure of like a bunch of different styles. And I wanted to my original idea was that I just wanted everyone to be able to make something in their own styles, and it was super similar to that. So I took a lot of inspiration from that in the direction of this, but this is definitely a little more different in how it's kind of set up and everything.
Yeah,
I saw that
yeah.
recently. I think it was, I don't know. I didn't actually realize that we had kind of inspiration reference kind of thing like that. But I love what we were able to throw together pretty quickly. It was really such a easy
Pretty quickly.
Event for us to put together. And
In quotes, pretty quickly, yes.
I jumped on the conversation immediately though to force the bakery's hand in this. I was like, it was like back in early November, early December. Oh no, late November,
late November, yeah,
2022, and I think you had just done your first you were working on the bakery theater. I don't know what
the concert hall build thing, whatever you want to call it,
concert hall,
right? Yeah,
exactly, right.
Yeah.
And I was like, we have a server coming up. We want to make it really impressive, so when people see like the bakery, like that's their first physical thing that they actually would experience if they joined the server. And we needed something to kind of land in, basically, like a hub. And I was like, Snarple, this would be a perfect hub. And Snarple was like, yeah, it would. And I was like, cool. And then that was there wasn't really a lot of negotiation on Snarple's end, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
There was no you can't pressure me to get this done on time. And
I didn't say that.
Wait, you were looking for the drama in this or something, or?
Snarple promised this would be done within a month, and
I did. That was a mistake.
What happened was it wasn't done within a month. What happened was it needed I don't know how many hundreds of hours were put into this, not only from Snarple, but I don't think people other than Snarple put hundreds of hours in. Maybe Juno, or I don't know. Actually, I don't want to take away credit from anybody, but there was a ton of effort that was put into this, and I think
I think most people put in somewhere between 5 and 10 hours.
You want to?
I think
saying that.
Yeah, I think so. I think I could confidently say that most people that participated in this build put somewhere between 5 and 10 hours. So, I mean, times 30 people, that's a lot.
Yeah. Now, what I actually, for my case, if I say 10 hours, and what I actually did in 10 hours, if it was just placing 10 blocks in an hour and then just kind of accelerating, I would have had big peaks and some lulls during that time. I know I'm a slow builder, so I'm openly admitting that. So I could have probably been more than 10 for me, but in really, really small chunks. But yeah, I see. It could very well be that. But I mean, it was definitely a long process. We even had, I think, a large team building session at some point, right? Just kind of chipping away and knocking out the upper sections of the hub, because we had a lot of this lower stuff, I think, underway already at some point, but all the higher up stuff was still needing to be done, because this thing is it's massive. If you've never visited the bakery hub, I encourage you to do so, and we'll plug the links and everything. But yeah, it's almost up to the build limit, I think.
Yeah,
it could be an exaggeration.
It goes. I think there are a couple blocks up at the top that do touch the build limit, and I know that it does go down to negative. What was it? -60. It starts at -60 and goes all the way up.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty large build.
Yeah, we're sitting at -37 right now.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So this is just the scratching the surface. Anyway, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I don't know, biggest issue I think always was just trying to get people to do stuff, because Snarple's so what is it called?
I'm not. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm antisocial, but I
wasn't gonna say antisocial. I was just
assertive
gonna say,
or something.
Yeah, you don't want to force people to do stuff.
Yeah.
I think except for me and a few others.
Except for I can. Yeah. I boss plan around a lot. Yeah.
I'll get these messages from Snarple. It's kind of a funny relationship that we have, where I'll ask Snarple to do stuff for a period of time, and it'll just be anxiety in our DMs, where it'll just be like, "Hey," and neither of us will reply to it, because Snarple doesn't want to actually own up to the responsibility, or I don't want Snarple will be like, "Hey, I need we did a giveaway this past week of some new Java accounts for the 10,000 member milestone in the Discord," and Snarple messaged me the other day and was like, "Hey, I need those account numbers so I can send these people the ones that won their stuff," and I just don't respond.
You know,
Or like-
the streams that you mentioned really helped with that, though. With like the not wanting to ask a ton of people to help, because I talked to painters specifically at one point about wanting to get a lot of people on at once, just to have this like kind of cool like community streamed event where we were all working at once. But I didn't want to ask everybody individually, so Painter kind of helped me out with kind of setting that up and like having the day where it was all going. And I did a lot of like management and like voice calls with like kind of directing people on like where to build and you know, trying to make that all run smoothly. But Painter definitely helped with kind of setting up those two stream events, which were, I think, probably the most progress that we made on the hub in like kind of a short amount of time was those 2 days.
Yeah, and I think having those two really helped to have us focus within that period of time, right? Because we only had so much time on our hands because it was naturally nighttime for most people. So we were like, I myself was sort of going, I want to try to get my area done before I leave it and come back to it, and then find that, oh, I've either lost the inspiration I was looking for, or I look at things and I'm going, why the heck did I build this? Like, this makes no sense or something, and then start like second guessing myself and then spending more time and getting stuck in that cycle. So that was a really helpful session, and that was a lot of fun too.
Each of those streams were probably about, I think, 3 hours each, and I think we made a good fifth or sixth of the hub in those two short streams, because it was just, it was so many people putting in like really focused work on it, because we were all just, you know, working on the same stuff.
That's true, and because a lot of the stuff, I think one of the requirements was we had to actually build it in place. Like, we couldn't import builds from anywhere, maybe in very, very limited cases, but most of the larger structures were specifically built for this hub project.
Yeah, and I think Painter has
oh god,
two,
this is such
maybe
a stupid rule. I hated this rule.
Painter has a
was so
couple sections
lenient.
that were imported.
The problem that I had with this whole build process was that Snarple would only allow certain things. It was all Snarple's rules. You know, if Snarple felt like it was okay, it was okay. But sometimes, most of the stuff that I did was not okay. So I was constantly butting heads with Snarple on like certain aspects of the build. You know, because on a collaboration, it's like a two-way street. But in this way, on the hub, it was really a one-way street. That was the secret that no one found out. You know, if Snarple didn't like it, it was getting deleted, or it wasn't
getting deleted. I was gonna give some constructive criticism about it.
Yeah, belittle me a little bit more, please. You know, like you know, there were lots of areas where you know, Snarple wanted to have everybody on, to have every baker do a part of this build, and that was like a real important factor to this hub. And though that wasn't true because we couldn't actually get every baker to create on this hub, and we have added potent bakers since that, bakery creators since that this hub has been released. You know, there are other opportunities for them to work on stuff like that all the time too. But
oh, sure.
You know, there were all these spots that were like left open, and every month that would roll around, I'd be like, can I have another spot? Can I please bake this? Can I just copy this? Come on, let's just get it done. What are we waiting for? Snarple's like, it's a vision. Don't taunt me. Get out of my DMs. It's not done. I'm like, what am I paying you for? Snarple's like, you don't pay me. I'm like, I'm gonna emotionally drain you from this. It was great. It was a really fun and constructive. It was like working on the Snow City build, like we talked about earlier, where, you know, we built it. There was a lot of frustration.
A lot of frustration.
A lot of
stress. A lot of crying. A lot of back and forth.
Oh man.
I mean, now here it stands. It's one of our coolest builds, and when we released, you know, it was really good to have it. Like, we had some really like iconic Minecraft creators join, like B-Dubs and Scar. What are it? Good Times with Scar join.
Yeah.
And I felt really proud to know that like what they got to experience first was this hub, and I'm sure it was really awesome and impressive and cool for them. Like, even as creators ourselves, I always feel really excited when I see just skilled builders just, you know, working together and producing something that like is for the community. And you know, I think this stands for a lot of like our group as and how we work well together and stuff like that. You know, there was a lot of patience, and you know, no one was really totally offended by everything. I think, right? That we didn't have any issues like that, right?
No.
Okay, so
I hadn't actually thought about it before. How you said like it was really cool for like the really large creators that honestly I kind of grew up watching, and I think a lot of us kind of maybe not grew up watching, but definitely like know of and are big fans of,
or look up
for this to be
almost,
like
right?
the first thing to look up to, for this to be like the first thing that they saw is really, really cool, and to be able to to kind of inspire those kind of people, and have those kind of people looking at our work to kind of take from, and that's a really cool thing for me, at least.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and just again to, I think it shows that all of us are still open to learning and growing, right? I mean, I definitely loved the process and getting to see what other people decided to throw in here, because I know, like, when I think city, I'm a very shallow, I guess, minded person in the sense, or have like tunnel vision of, oh, city, it's mostly modern and various older or newer styles or something. But then coming to see people like people's fantasies or other sort of builds and things like, I mean, I'd love to list all the. I have this on a postcard somewhere, actually. I should be able to get this. Hang on, you know what?
Oh yeah, you sent those out, yeah.
Yeah, I do, because the reason is because I have all the names on here, or at least maybe not everybody, but various folks that came on. And yeah, actually, you know what? This postcard was dated, the screenshot was from January, like late January this past year, 2023. And this was just before we were doing that big building thing. So the names I have here, there's Waspy, there's Claire, Sword, Airtug, Soup, Rail, myself, Davdi, Beige, Matt, Juno, you Snarple, you Painter, Ara, Lime, Shovel, and Spritzu. And then maybe there could have been more people that helped, but that just shows you how many people came together with this. And it was honestly such a great time. Like seeing, even like when I still roam this place, and I'm sure like if you're listening, if you come by and visit the hub, there's always something to discover. I think there's like always there's some kind of detail. We threw a few sort of Easter egg hidden things.
There's
in a sense, right?
There's a couple little areas. I mean, there's a couple interiors, like we're in one right now. There's that diner interior, and then there's a couple of sort of just small cracks and crevices around. Like I know Achilles has like a cool little like shop behind the big red building up there, and then there's an alley like right over there behind where we're at right now.
Did you hear for the SMP? I don't know if you saw, but this is also a teaser for you, Rainboom, too, because we have a build team now which is our staff that's been putting together a lot of the sort of assets needed, and they referenced a lot of the stuff in the hub for some of our cool little like PvP zones, and we have like a kind of broken down shifty alleyway where you're going to be able to PvP
nice.
with people.
No way, really?
Yeah,
so funny.
Nice.
I mean, they reused some of the assets in here, like they used like some of the artwork, and they had some new artwork created by what's it called? Some Nerd or something. I forget what their name is.
Oh, Not Some Nerd.
Not Some Nerd. Yeah. I think out of the 32 members that we have now, we only had, I think, 2 members not participate in the build. Actually, technically 4, because 2 of the newer ones are joined. So we had 4 people not participate. So we had a 28-person collab, which was really significant and super awesome to see. And yeah, there are also a bunch of interiors too to explore.
Oh yeah,
you can click on Snarple at the hub and explore them. We had our dev Josh. He had have random teleport locations all over the hub to help you kind of seek out and explore like all the builds, which is really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of worried now because I kind of feel like my interior was almost lacking in some areas now. Like the lobby is basically
no
empty.
Way. Are you kidding me? Yeah, your interior was so upscaled and it was so nice and explore. You could go in there and get lost. I mean, I have sometimes. So.
Getting lost is the key word because I definitely just put a maze of corridors in there, but really it's just that, like floor design, wall design, ceilings, lights, and that's about it. And
yours is also unique because it's like the only other build. I think there's like there's 2 builds that go below this level, which is like the -37 level. Your build goes down there, and then there's like another kind of Easter egg that goes below the level, but
And actually, it almost would have gotten lower had Snarple not warned me about some of the limits, because I think I was going to go much lower since it was kind of like a theater, right? So they kind of descended down into some space, but then I sort of realized, oh shoot, I might be nearing some of the limits here, and so thanks Snarple for reminding me,
Yeah, there's some pillars down there that it was definitely like kind of pushing into the space, but I didn't want to get rid of it, and I really wanted you to have that kind of building space where you kind of did whatever you want. So we did work around that, and
we did.
It's all good now.
I think graffiti helped save us too, didn't it? Just kind of having those walls in the back and people signing on there. Doing all that. Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, it was great. Just that whole project. There was something that came to mind with me on this project, but I didn't. Do you guys have anything else you want to throw on with that? Any other fun stories or things that you remember that
this project was traumatic, and I really don't want to do it anytime again soon.
No, never.
Please release your
collabs.
video, Snarple.
I'm working on it. I'm slow. I'm a slow worker, and it's,
Snarple likes to go to a cafe.
I like
set up the laptop.
Like working with my laptop, getting my cherry matcha tea, working at a cafe. Yeah.
What is a cherry matcha?
Matcha tea?
I know what matcha is, but what are you putting cherries in it for?
Well, it's like, I don't know, it's just this like cherry kind of syrup stuff. I don't know, it tastes really good.
Anyway,
I'll take you there sometime.
I'll never do this again. This is awful.
Now you've got me intrigued, Snarple. I have never heard of cherry matcha tea before.
Right? Why would you put matcha cherries with matcha?
No, it's not matcha cherries. It's just separate like cherries. I don't know. It's just a separate like cherry flavor. Side? No, it's not like actual cherries. It's just flavored with cherry.
Oh, like it's like a flavored matcha or something where it's
still
okay.
Why would you flavor matchas? It's so impure.
I don't know. It's really good.
Oh, God, it must be one of them cafe things you do.
Some of them, new age hippy dippy drinks.
Maybe they wanted to celebrate 120 in their own way, and have something pinkish and to line with the cherry blossoms. I mean, they're blossoms, but I guess the idea is kind of there.
All right, coming from the two people on this, podcast who are currently playing on 1.19, I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Wow.
Hold on,
calling us out like that.
Yeah, I am.
Well,
what is in my hand right now? What is this?
That looks like shears.
That looks like shears.
Me.
Yeah.
This is a brush.
My goodness!
This is a brush.
I think in the visualizer, it's gonna look like shears because I think you're gonna be wrong.
Is that just a regular flower pot?
It looks like a flower pot to me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! This is a decorative pot.
Interesting.
It's like a very normal pot.
Yeah, just your average standard pot. Nothing too fancy there. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll move over to 1.20 eventually, but we did just update the creative server to 1.20. So
no, we didn't. We updated it over a month ago.
Well, yeah, but we still can't use the blocks here. We can't hand place them.
Yeah, you can.
I don't think you can. Can you? Maybe I'm out of the loop.
Oh my god, this is so awkward.
Well, I tell you, what? Like, I'm openly going to admit, I'm really slow when it comes to updates. Like, if not for the bakery, the server on our end having updated to 119, I probably still would have been 118 to this day, and I wouldn't have made that move until I would have been forced to or found a good time to do so. So. Yeah, I 120 might be around the corner. So if you really want to force me to move to 120, if you want to restrict this place to 120, I'll leave it with you. But
I mean, as a public building server, I think it's one thing that's always been criticized in the community is just staying up to date so that you can build with all the new blocks and all of the new entities that they add or whatever. And, yes, we are on 1.20. You need a special IP address to join for the 1.20 for now.
Oh, okay.
For now. But it will come soon. It's still exciting.
By the end of the week, it should be up and running for the plots server. We were waiting on a plugin to update properly.
I see.
So we're going to test it.
I noted that at the time of this recording, that is, right? And so then if you're listening and you find some random end of week and you'll think, I wonder what's going on there, and then start messaging Painter and sort of going, hey, Painter, what's up with that update you were talking about in the episode? That's 7 months later or something like that. or
Someone
something
probably
like
will.
that. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Like, I guess now we're gonna have to go and keep our DMs open for this in case people. You'll know who's listening then to this episode if you find something happening about like you get a message maybe a year later and you hear someone saying, "Hey, Painter, I heard you on a podcast talking about this update, this SMP or all this kind of future looking stuff."
Yeah, I mean, if you are listening now, go DM Snarple, ask Snarple when the hub will be done.
Don't do that. Don't do
that. Together, we can break Snarple.
Don't do that.
Even better question, when's our next bakery collab? Massive 20, 30 person sort of thing. Maybe get the whole creative server on it, like, 100 people doing something much like that illegal architecture project,
I would love to do something like that. I think that'd be so cool if we could like have the whole server come in and like have 100 people try to build something. It'd be so chaotic.
Well, we have enough people to do that now with the creative server. Like, we can find enough like really talented people to work on something like that. So I mean, I'd be excited to try and set something like that up.
Yeah, Hub 2.0 or something. Maybe we'll have to see what that might be.
Everybody tries to stack 1,000 at once.
Oh god.
100 members crashes.
Oh, we definitely have to handpick everyone to work on that to make sure we don't have anyone stacking 1,000 into somebody else's build. But
that did happen a couple times. Even
definitely happened. Painter had a large section that was deleted.
Yeah, actually.
Very, very on purpose, very intentionally. I was definitely behind it.
It won't be the first time you've deleted something. Oops.
Wow. Ooh.
Makes you wonder
non-intentionally or intentionally.
Oh boy. It makes you wonder how many collabs may have possibly existed but just never were posted. If you may have ever had
We'll never know. I mean, that page is gone.
Damn.
It's been deleted, as you said earlier. Oh wow.
Oh gee. But yeah, hey, honestly, it looks like there's a lot there's a lot to be excited about bakery wise. I mean, we've been at it now for almost actually a little over, is it over a year now that we've
a little over
gone public? And we're still looking towards more. Is it almost, I think?
I don't know. When officially did we go public with the Discord?
You can check in the announcements, because I know that we welcomed a bunch of people. But I think it has been a year. I think it has been a little over a year.
Something like that.
Since we've started like a public thing.
I
know we started the public server, the creative like Minecraft server. I know we started in March. I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. So that's only been going for a little while. But we've already found like really great success with that, and we've already had like a really like cool and community kind of sprout from that, and we have a lot of like active members that are on every day, like helping out new builders and stuff like that.
It actually just rolled over. We opened the server publicly, the Discord server, 7/15. So.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. So yeah, it's just over a year.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible, actually.
Yeah. So this is a testament, I think. This is kind of a celebratory episode almost in a sense to say, hey, happy 1 year anniversary to the public launch of the bakery in a sense, right? And now that we hit 10,000 members, as you said, I think a little while ago, we just surpassed that number. So that's also another great milestone that we've achieved too. So lots of things looking up for us, I think, for the most part. Maybe that massive collab might be in hand one of these days, potentially, Snarple.
I think so. I don't know. I think more public events would be
or that in general.
I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, just
for sure.
A lot more like getting the community involved and stuff
absolutely.
Like that.
It's definitely Snarple's role. Definitely Snarple's job.
No, I'm definitely looking forward to like leading and stuff like that for sure.
If you experiencing a lack of events in the bakery, just point to Snarple and blame Snarple. That is 100% not my fault.
No, definitely just slide in the Discord DMs.
Say, hey, when's that hub going to be done? Snarple will know what that means.
If you know anything about me, I respond to every single Discord direct message that I get.
It's not true.
It's not true.
A little selective response, it seems like, is the approach here. But
I don't know, Rainboom, for you, like as a bakery creator and someone who has also been kind of along for the entire ride since we started, like went from just a group private Discord to a Patreon only server to a public server? Like, what for you has been really, I don't know. Why have you stuck around for so long? Because I feel like for me, it's like, I love to help organize. I love to kind of develop stuff for the community. So what do you keep around for? What are you still kicking here for?
Yeah. Oh no. You know what it is. I was waiting for the opportune time to launch this so I can get you guys to do a pod. No. I'm kidding. Yeah. I've been a little rusty, so I needed some way. I was getting desperate at a certain point. No. You know what it is. It really is just the community. It comes down to that. Like coming in and spending time to not just learn from you guys as content creators, but to just speak with friends, right? It's like at the end of the day, you're coming from work, and in the limited time that I have, although I'll openly admit some nights I stay up a little longer than I probably should, but usually it's for good reason. Like if there's a build that I'm invited to come on and help build, right, and sort of develop, then there might be that, or just to talk with people, like whoever comes up and whoever happens to be in there. Like all the bakers are just marvelous individuals as they are content creators, and it's just like having friends to chat with. So I think really the community is what had me stuck around. There might have been, of course, it's gone through a lot. I remember there was once a time where I thought, okay, maybe this is the end of me for the bakery because I wasn't putting content out, because I guess there was like that sort of that role that was on the side that made us, like, for people who were, I guess, sort of not like
friends,
inactive,
the friend role.
like the friend role, right? So I thought, okay, maybe this was the end. This was like a time for me to say I should probably consider making it serious or just calling it a day, right? But it's really just the community that's had me stuck around. Long story short, there, Painter, and I really appreciate what you put together, what you and Snarple have put together, is to let that happen, because there's a lot of good people that I've honestly learned from. Like I tell you, I keep mentioning Claire because a lot of her builds were what I would have referenced early on in terms of when I wanted to make the decision to increase the scale of my work. Because the city that I'm doing is it was a player scale city. But then I started running into problems with certain things that were not really the easiest to manage in player skills. So I looked to people like, actually, I don't remember Dave still, and other people like that, and Claire, people who did like city, even if it was modern stuff. But I was like, there's a lot of possibility with this. And so that was really the motivation for me to develop, and all the tips and tricks I've learned from things like working with terrain, not being afraid of terrain. Actually, I used to dread having to do terrain for stuff because I didn't know the tools to do it, right? Otherwise, I'd just be like hand placing things or going layer by layer and trying to sort of perfectly smooth things out, and I just never had an eye for it. So everyone I encounter, like good friends of mine, even I'll mention, like I'll shout out Meg, like when we did the original podcast. She was one of the first people that taught me how to build trees, like to be confident in making your own custom trees and moving away from the default, because the defaults are, we can all probably agree that they're not the most advanced or aesthetically pleasing for our builds these days. So, but yeah, you know what? It's honestly the community, Painter, and I really owe it to you guys for the experience, for this whole year plus.
Whole year plus. Cannot believe that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, what else would we do if we couldn't make fun of Snarple? I just tried to seek out more ways to stress out Snarple. I really look forward to sending a message that I know might just shoot anxiety through.
Wow.
The bones.
Oh man. Yeah,
I'm appreciated.
I'll just have to dedicate an episode one day, just have you both sitting here. I'll just remove myself and just let you both have at it.
That's a good goal. I mean, my goal is to dedicate a blotch of Snarple's hair to just gray. That I want that to be just pure Painter stress.
Oh man. Oh gee.
This one was the bakery, and this was the hub. Oh man. This is all those deleted builds.
Imagine a repository full of that. Like, if you could ever recover that stuff, what sorts of things you would be able to recover?
Probably my friendship with Snarple.
Wow.
Whoa. Dang.
Whoa.
Wow, you really...
You're gonna need more than matcha tea to recover from that.
That wasn't at me, but I feel like that hit at a whole
just
new
gets up
level
and
there.
leaves.
Oh, gee. But anyways, hey, no, I mean, it's been so much fun having you both here, but I'll give you an opportunity to at least, like, plug yourselves. And, of course, the bakery can be found, I think if I have the invite link right, it's discord.gg/bakerybuilders, right? If I have it correctly, that'll also leave that for you listening in links for this episode. But
We'll
yourselves
also have
too,
a website going live soon, bakery.builders. So look out for that when it goes live. There'll be, you'll find everybody who's a creator on there as far as links, server information, and potentially new merch. So that's really exciting stuff that we got coming in the future.
It's great stuff. Great stuff. And of course, yourselves, I'll let you guys plug yourselves out too.
Snarple, you go first because
I'll go first. Well, make sure to join the server. It's let's see, bakery.deadymc.io. Now on.
We already plugged that. I don't know what's wrong with you.
No, it was
the Discord. I realized
just the Discord.
I knew I forgot something. I was leading to the Minecraft server too, but of course, of all things, I knew that I would have forgotten that. But anyways, go ahead, Snarple.
Yeah, so Minecraft server, bakery.deadymc.io, now on 1.20.
Already said that.
I know, I'm just saying it again. God, I'm going to say it again.
Third time's the
third time. I'm working on a video myself. I've been working on it for a while, but I'm pretty slow on things. So I'm hoping to have that out as soon as I can. I am working on a smaller video in the meantime. I'm looking forward to some more kind of community events with the bakery. So if you're not already a part of our community, hop in. Definitely going to have some more stuff going on. We have a competition coming up for the new 1.20 update. Some cool prizes with that. Could win a VIP role on our server. But that's most of what I have going on. Painter?
Well, I mean, as the superior creator, I don't really need to plug myself. If you guys want to stop by and join, if you want to join the community, definitely feel free to. We have a really great, thing going on here, and I'd love to share it with everybody. So,
what a callback!
Thank you, Rainboom, for setting this up. This is fun fact. This is our second time recording this. It was Snarple's fault originally. Again,
oh man,
yeah, it was all my fault. I really just screwed it up.
Yeah, please support anybody in the bakery if you don't already. Please support us. We do this all for fun and out of our pockets. And
oh, absolutely, yeah. Like how many of us actually do this full time, right? And so it's great stuff, though, honestly. And of course, to you both, thanks again so much for coming on. This was honestly a lot of fun being able to sit here in this this great little cafe. I've never actually sat in here. Now that I think about it, I've walked in it, but never sat in it.
Yeah, me and Achilles made this so that we could display all the bakery NPCs in here with all the social links and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. This is really awesome. But yeah, hey, if you want to come and check out where we've been recording this, you better come in and visit the Bakery Hub for sure. You're not going to regret that decision. So, but honestly, Painter, Snarple, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Do we just walk off? We
can all just to the mystery bus or something. See you guys. Oh, it'd be funny if I'll phase through the window. Here we go. Oh, that was a bad idea. Oh, hey, this is a dark alley. Wait a minute.
Wait, what?